She's a health coach and corporate trainer. I should say that I've seen Maria for the last 4 or 5 months, and she really helped me to continue my journey of recovery. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Hello. So we'll be talking more about executive loneliness, and I will make more specific about anxiety, depression, and how people in the higher levels of corporate organizations that find themselves there and feel rather helpless. So Monday morning, my first appointment is Paul. I'm meeting for the first time. Paul is 48 years old, and he looks picture perfect. He's very nicely dressed. He tells me about his wonderful family and his 2 kids. He overlooks the ocean from his house that he owns. He owns property all over the world in prestigious destinations. He goes to the gym regularly. He travels a lot for business and pleasure, and is always in reserves traveling. He has also successful friends. But this is his corporate image. This is the thing that you see the first moment you meet him. But as we're talking, Paul's private reality starts coming to the surface. So when Paul goes home, he starts wondering and torturing himself with thoughts, am I good enough? He's wondering how he can balance taking care of others and himself. His wife and his children are constantly complaining he's not present. And sometimes he's not physically present, but other times he's physically present, but mentally and emotionally absent. Either because he's on his phone or the laptop, or he has a late night call, or also because he's just burned out. He can't be there, he can't support it. He works too much, he's exhausted, depressed, and burned out. He needs constant validation. And I want to talk a little bit about that, because when we don't validate ourselves, when we don't know what we need external validation, this means that the location of our identity is external. So that creates a lot of anxiety, because we would need everyone to tell us amazing or wonderful, we do a very good job. And that's starting, it can lead to increased anxiety, depression, and suicidality. So Paul often feels empty when he's alone, and he can't sleep. And in order to fall asleep and switch off the racing thoughts instead, he will drink and will do too much. Some people drink, some people do substances, some people eat too much. Some people shop too much, but they need a crutch to move forward. And he often wonders if there's more in life. And that's the question that brought him to me, along with a panic attack that drove him on Sunday night to a hospital. He thought he was having a heart attack, but the doctor said it's just a panic attack. So the corporate image that a lot of people in the higher levels of corporations have, what does it consist of? It consists of external labels, such as professional achievements, high-level job, a big bank account, proper family, a spouse that does well in the corporate world, knows how to chit-chat at corporate events, kids that go to international schools and they're very good at academics, they're also sports activities. Customer stage is car. Why is saying that? Because the moment someone sees his car, it's an instant evidence that he has made it. He's successful. He also engages in extreme struggling. Only extreme struggling. He owns upscale property in amazing destinations that everyone recognizes. Tuscany, Mykonos, Davos. He has exquisite university degrees. Because again, if you've been to an Ivy League university or a Greek university in the UK, everything is recognizable. You don't need to prove yourself too much. He has successful friends. That is also proof of his identity. And the more he collects external labels, the more he's anxious. The more he needs them, the more he's attached to them. The more his identity is not internal. And of course, the Western societies encourage us to collect labels. involve are intellectual intelligence. There is no talk about emotional intelligence. But all studies show that unless you have evolved your intellectual intelligence and your emotional intelligence, you can be successful, but you won't thrive. So let's go and see what the private reality of a person that has internal mental balance consists of. This person believes in herself, her mental abilities. She feels worthy of self-validation, which means that the source and the location of her identity is internal. She does not depend on other people. She knows she's competent. She loves herself. But she loves herself in a substantial manner. Many people will love themselves through buying expensive things. Cars, handbags, jewelry, very expensive watches. And they call this self-love. I have nothing against buying all those things. But this has been an addiction to love yourself substantially. And you love yourself substantially when you're happy with who you are. When you know your skills, you know your abilities. She takes care of her body, but she's not doing this to fit the social construct of beauty. She's doing this because she loves life so much. She just wants to extend it, and she wants to have a good time. She wants to be pain-free, so she exercises without beating herself. She eats well, because she doesn't want to get sick. She feels limited. And what would that mean? That means that she knows that if she decides to do something, she's more than capable of doing it. So she's not limiting her dreams, her life, according to what people tell her she can be. She knows she has the skills to deal with all the challenges. We don't always resolve all challenges, but she knows she has the skills. Even if she doesn't succeed, she knows she will have collected so much information, so many skills, that she can synthesize and succeed next time. It's a school of energy, physical and mental energy. How do we get first connections? One way we do this is by having a realistic expectation. When I'm asking my clients to tell me how do they define the perfect week, they tell me, I want to have the mental and physical energy to work from 14 hours to 18 hours. I want to go home, play with my kids, be present with my wife, go to the gym, travel for work, travel for play, go to sports events, see friends. We need 2 to 3 people to do that. And having those unrealistic expectations and believing in them and pushing yourself so hard will only push you deeper and deeper into depression, anxiety, dark thoughts, and obsessiveness. I would urge you to leave work at 5, 6 p.m. Have a hard stop. I know it's not possible for every day, but the days you don't have late calls or you don't have a dinner with a business partner, just leave. Go home, laugh, eat, exercise, go to the movies. Exchange emotional molecules with the people that you know. And when you disengage from your life, from time, from the environment and stress, that's when the most amazing ideas, the most creative ideas come running to your head. Another way to drive ourselves high in depression and anxiety is the flight or fight or hide response. When we see tigers everywhere. So this emergency mode was instilled in human beings for times of emergency. 70,000, 100,000 years ago, humans were living in the jungle. So when you're actually faced with danger, a real tiger, you needed to go into this mode and run. So what happens to you when you're in real danger? You're focusing narrowly on 3 things. The environment, because you didn't find the path that's going to take you to safety. You focus because you need to be much faster than the tiger. And you also focus on your body because you need the energy. So in order to identify the fastest path, your body is going to secrete adrenaline. Adrenaline will travel through the spinal cord to your brain. And when that happens, your brain is going to light up like a Christmas tree. And you will see the screens. And adrenaline is highly addictive. So when we're addicted to adrenaline, we will keep taking ourselves all the way back to this flight or fight or flight response. Also, in order for your body to outrun the tiger, you need your heart to pump a lot of blood that's going to go to the extremities. So your heart starts pumping very fast. That's why people nowadays breathe there all the time. They're having panic attacks. They're experiencing a very long flight or fight response. So corporate managers, they find themselves there sometimes all day. And when they go home, they can't relax. They can't improve. Do they sleep? Most of them don't. So that's what happens. Constant pressure to succeed, leads to anxiety disorder, low self-esteem, depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, and suicidality. And what do we do in order to deal with this? We listen to what society told us. We need more success, more things, more labels. But that's how we find ourselves in a vicious cycle. So how can depression and anxiety affect corporate executives? And is it worth it? There is a constant need for success to succeed, no matter what. And what is the no matter what? No matter if I don't have energy, no matter if my kids need me, no matter if my relationships are breaking apart. I'm at the edge of a burnout. And it's just the price I have to pay. I feel hopeless and frustrated. I have no downtime. I have no time to play. I barely exist. I'm preoccupied with what I own, not how I feel. Again, the last one takes us back. What society tells us. Do you want to be recognized? Do you want to be admired and start collecting things? How you feel is not important. So we allow our fears to guide us and not our desired vision. What does that mean? Every time that I rehearse something again and again, I become very good at it. And also, if I keep seeing my future as bleak and scary, and I keep rehearsing it, that's all I will be seeing and that's all I will be feeling. So if I tell myself there's a brown bear there who's charging against me, wanting to eat me, and I'm feeling and I'm feeling it, I will see myself in the scene. I really feel terrified. And we tend to do this again and again. And that's how we live our lives. The result, depression, severe anxiety, bleak thoughts, we don't want to continue living. So have created desired vision. Use this mechanism of the human brain. And the human brain can make thought more real and alive than anything else. We are the only mammals on Earth who can do that. But use it to your benefit, not to your detriment. One, have the feelings of the vision. Another way we drive ourselves nuts is by feeling that we are carrying the world on our shoulders. And a lot of managers, they feel that. And people in the C-suite, they will tell me, you don't get it. That's exactly what it is. If I let go, we're done. These people have had HR flag to them that they need to delegate. But what they're missing in order to do it is faith. They don't have faith that people around them can do it. So if you find yourself there, be able to faith. Try it out. If you keep doing the same thing again and again, you will never create results. that the future and the present are dark. Allow yourselves to see that now you have vast opportunities. There are so many possibilities in front of you. Life has cleared the slate for you, and you can draw whatever you want on the canvas. When my clients manage to overcome the depression and anxiety over loss, they're so thankful, they feel so grateful, because they know that the skills they have, who they are, no one can take away from them. So they use those skills to create the life they want. And 99% of the times, the life that they want, the life they create, is so much better than the previous one. So don't be scared when you use something. See it as an amazing opportunity to create a lot of it. Another important thing to remember, so that you don't get depressed and anxious, is that you're not the sum of your results. There is a lot more in you. You have intellect, you have feelings, you have friends, you have family. You have your skills and your abilities that they're inside you, no one can take away from you. So there's nothing wrong with achievements and accomplishments. There's a problem when we forget to live and become our accomplishments. So how can someone be in flow? How can we leave depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts along with racing thoughts? Well, the first thing you need to do is to bring the loss of your identity inside you. You need to praise yourself for being the amazing you. Most of us forget to do it. We only get stuck with what we need to do or what we did wrong. That is going to drive you into depression and anxiety. You need to remind yourself of who you are all the time. In order to be in the flow, you need to create space and time for flow. Have dancing lessons. Have dinners. Go to movies. Eat popcorn. Play with your kids. Bring fun back. Kids are so happy because they play. And when they play, they make their imagination more real than anything else. So have fun. Smile and laugh like a child. Disconnect from everything that torments you. Disconnect from time, environment, and your body. And when you do that, you will create such a safe environment, a rich environment inside you, where you can create the path that you desire, not the future you're dreading. Be creative. Lose yourself in your creation, emotionally or artistically. Do you want to write an article? Do you want to write a book like Nick? Do you want to learn how to do pottery? Try something. The ones that don't have any artistic hobbies, experiment. Go to a few and then decide which one does it for you. And then, if you don't feel well, if you feel your energy is going down, if you can't sleep, if you get up in the morning and you're not feeling well, engage in mental health care. Share your thoughts, your worries and dreams with a coach or a counselor. And I know there's a lot of stigma around mental health care. But if you want something to change your environment, your culture, be the first agent of change. Be the first one to do it and talk about it. Also, you're not alone. People feel that there is no one around. Seek emotional support when your energy level is declining. People will be very happy to give it to you. And one thing you need to discard is the erroneous perception that no one cares about you. All the people who are suicidal or heavily depressed, they're telling me that there is no one that cares about you. And when I'm saying, how about your husband, your wife, your kids? You understand. They don't care about me. They only want the money, they want the lifestyle. That's not true. That's what you're telling yourself. When you're depressed, the chemicals in your brain are telling you that no one cares about you. Go against those chemicals. Identify the people who care about you. Have a conversation with them. I have never met in my life, personally or professionally, someone who's not loved, who's not cared for. So, to what extent are we in control of our daily actions, thoughts, and feelings? years old, we're only in control of 5% of our mind. And that's our conscious cognitive mind. The rest of it, 95% of it, is completely unconscious. What does that mean? That means that you need to use 5% of your conscious mind to choose the behaviors, to choose your thoughts, to be aware of what you're doing in order to change your unconscious mind. Where all your fear, your desires, your anxieties, and your aspirations are embedded. If you don't use the 5%, you will be throwing unconscious programs again and again and again. So when you see a colleague, a difficult customer, your boss, even before they open their mouth, you already have a thought and feeling. Oh my God, I'm not going to sign the contract, I'm going to be fired, no one cares for me, but nothing has actually happened. These are all thoughts based in your past, and they're staring you dead. So how do you create a new life? You need to face your fears. You need to use the 5% of your conscious mind to be aware of your fears. And then you need to discard the fear, create a positive vision with desirable thoughts, and alleviated feelings. Alleviated feelings are joy, feeling the flow, feeling safe, emotionally, financially, feeling loved. Most of us are using strong feelings, but they're feelings of fear, anxiety, depression. And this is the everyday life you have when you're using those feelings. So if you want to create a new life, a new reality, use this model, which really works. But it's not enough to do it once, right? You need to do it again and again and again. If you go to the gym once, you're not going to get the muscles you want. So now I'm going to go to a little bit of neuroscience. Bear with me, I'm going to make it very simple. Why is it important for you to know your brain wave frequencies? Most of you are not, if you're not interested. But if I explain to you in what brain wave frequency you can create, you can communicate, you can feel happy, you can innovate, you can communicate with your team, your loved ones, you might get a little bit more interested. And I will also show you some ways to move from a destructive brainwave frequency to a brainwave frequency that's more relaxing and creative. So let's start with beta. You're in beta right now. So when you're in beta, your attention is in the outer world, your mind and your body are awake, you're processing information from all 5 senses. But beta has 3 different ranges. Now you're in the low range beta. So you're relaxed, you can learn, you can have a conversation if you choose with the person next to you. But if I were to tell you it's a test, I will test what you've learned today, you're probably going to move to mid-range beta. It's not just a move. And in mid-range beta, you're going to build more per time. It's a creative type of stress. It's not a bad stress. Because you are asked to synthesize all the information you have in your brain and your body and create the desired outcome. But this is high range beta. And it's 3.5 times faster and more intense and more coherent than low range beta. Look how coherent the waves are. Why? Because you're in survival mode. You're back in the jungle. You're being chased by tigers. But now it's not a real tiger, it's your colleague. It's your boss. It's your wife or your husband. So when you're there, when you're in high range beta, and people in corporations will find themselves there, and it's not going to work there. You can't think, you can't communicate, you can't have empathy. You won't be able to collaborate with your team. And organizations are merely consisted from people. So if people cannot communicate in a team, and they don't have empathy for each other, they won't reach the goals. Because they find each other. And they're selfish, because that's what you do in the jungle. The jungle is all about the self, the body, time, and the environment. obsessiveness, insomnia, or physical. All the brain disorders have increased by 1,500% the last 30 years. Why? Because we're always in beta. And our autoimmune system cannot sustain these levels of beta. These were created to deal with the danger. And the danger will be out of the way in 15 minutes. But when you're there for months, weeks, you're going to turn on the genes of disease. Now, alpha is a very creative, imaginative state of being. Your inner world is more important than your outer world. And you can create. You can see the future that you want to have. You can resolve a problem. So creative teams of big organizations like Google and Disney, they create these brainwave frequencies because they want them to act like kids, to play, and that's when the idiots are going to fly their head. You know that they have bicycles, and they have skating pods and ping pong tables. Now theta is also very important brainwave frequency. You can see how the brain waves, they slow down a lot. So your body is asleep and your mind is awake, but you're very programmable. This is when hypnotherapy works the best, because the veil between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind is completely different. The door is open, so hypnotherapists can enter your brain system and give you better solutions. No need to be scared. Feel expansive, feel happy. And delta is deep sleep. It's very important because if you don't sleep deeply, then you will not be able to restore and repair. During the day, there is tissue breakdown. Genes can be a little bit damaged, but when you go into deep sleep, you can repair. So you wake up, you're fresh, you're alert, everything feels different, you're ready to start your day. Now, do you think that people in corporations who are all the day, sometimes 16 hours, in beta, high beta, do you think that they can go to alpha and theta? Maybe they can go up to alpha, but they're probably never going to go to delta. So they're not going to see, well, that's why they have insomnia. That's why they need to abuse alcohol. So it will be very important to learn the tips of how to go from high range beta to low range beta to alpha to theta and finally delta. A very good technique is meditation. So when you're very stressed at work, just put your earphones in, take 10 minutes out, do some breathing, deep breathing, listen to some music, do some meditation. You will definitely go from high beta to low range beta, hopefully to alpha. And when you hit alpha, you will see the speed, you will see the resolution of your problem. In high beta, you will be angry, you will try to control, you will be selfish, you will not want to listen, you will not want to communicate. So you cannot create, communicate, or feel happiness when you're in high beta. You need to bring the brainwave frequency down. And how do we do it? Meditation is a very good way to do it. Hypnotherapy is another very good way to do it. But also breathing. The first thing you need to do when you feel you're in high beta is disengage from the environment. That is putting it there. Take 5 minutes out, walk, listen to your favorite music, sit down, do some breathing. Now, I will take you through a very short meditation session. It will only be 7 minutes. Sit back and relax. We're going to lower the lights. You will probably be feeling that there are thoughts, other thoughts, that are coming to your head. Try to tell those thoughts that they have no place in your mind, that you're going to get back to the creator. So close your eyes. Deep breath in. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Breathe out. And breathe out. Breathe out any stress for the day, stress for tomorrow.
weeks.